There are bears in the GTA coming out of hibernation. This is a northern nation, and the survival depends on your fuck it. There are
Flash niggas since
bears.
kindergarten.
Bears.
Shoes for kids been retarded. I make the coke black when I'm in the market. I make the price drop like I'm in the Target. I'm like the holy prophet trying to make a profit. Rough Rider, legendary prospect. I ain't where I'm at. Shout out my gunman, Bender. 10-4-5s in my extender. 2 extra clips for the extra shit.
Bears coming out of hibernation.
You
They're
getting
warning
blessed
people
with it.
about.
Yeah, I got so much beef, my ex just with it. Right,
In the
it was
GTA.
eye for an eye. Old Testament. The bottom of wells, my heart dwells. Treating these waters like shark tails. My homie got lashed, was all bail. I had waved the shit. Got tobacco with full bell. The rats used to see me on range and go tell. Catch him at court, stopping with Jordans like Montel. Swear to God, I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma skip the people.
This guy, I don't remember, was trying to buy a cigarette off me yesterday.
Every day I pay for
I don't know, that's the first thing. No one wants one, and I probably don't know. That's the first thing.
Every day I pay for new AKs.
I don't want him to touch me.
Every day
I don't want to
pay for
breathe
new
on him.
AKs.
I don't need his money.
Every day I pay
Whatever
for
the fuck
new
he is, it's his
AKs.
problem.
Every day I pay for new AKs.
He's just acting like it's a crack deal. Come on, oh, what, you gonna sell it tomorrow? Oh, you sold it
The
before, you
hottest
sold
kid
it
in the
before.
kitchen,
But
I've
go away.
been nice. Thoughts of you double crossing me, think twice. Gold chains, gold in my mouth, case full of ammunition. Cocaine on my
You need your 12
nosebleed, that's a
cents
Kathy
so bad,
Griffin. Bullets light up the night sky and they blame me, boy. Magnums in the back of the whip, they call me baby boy. My ATL sending your section 80, boy. The fuck do you think the mafia pay me for? Young, rich, and handsome, bullets like an anthem. When they started singing, everybody put their hands up. Ain't nobody been doing the shit that I do. Dark blood, how many hoes can I fit inside you?
Oh, it turned off again. There was a siren.
Grassed up with lines around them like the kids of I know. Put up with the Mac and fried them like the shit's a drive-thru. Angels will find you, but I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma scrape the beakers. Yeah.
Every day I pay for new AKs. Let's Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Every day I pay for new AKs. Let's Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Let's Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Let's Pablo.
Talking about the one that's draining the fucking chest and smells the best, even though it stinks the worst. It's like a curse. I'm gonna be fucking mad in the curse. Bears. They gave like 4 or 5 news stories, but the bears thing, bears, that's the one to pay attention to. They stay in your fucking house. If the bears look around, don't see no people, they're gonna fucking wander around. I don't think, oh, well, people have the right, blah, blah, blah. I'm a fucking bear. I'm walking here. Who the fuck are you?
Speed that flow, just jumping that water.
These are GTA bears. They're gangster. They'll smack you, eh?
Be that flow, just be that flow. Don't go against it, God. Be that flow, jumping that water. Yeah. Be that flow, just be that flow.
Attitude too. They're trying to eat some garbage. If you interfering, they're gonna get mad. Get out of here.
Be that
Why do
flow.
you want to eat garbage?
Don't go against it, be that flow. Be that flow. Don't go against it, dog. Be that flow. Jumping that water. Be that flow.
Slice a piece up in the Dutch pot. Curry chicken on the stove top. Shout out niggas from the stove top. Niggas talk but send a gunshots.
My acting selfish from my pictures look. The place run down but it's looking good. Shout out niggas at a drip fort. The shit's wet beyond drip blood.
Toronto born and raised. Toronto born and raised. They was never ready. Every single day you would be amazed. Living how we live, young niggas grinding stuck up in a maze. Told my nigga Charlie we can get this money making different ways.
We don't call it no shit. We ain't call it no bitch. But I got a full clip and I better no rich. I know you better with bitch. And they get it with kids. You know that I touch nigga. Open up how I bitch niggas. Better get back on that defense nigga. It's gonna run even stench nigga. I guess we on the offense.
Charlie like Jordan, Scottie Pippen, better listen on a mission, wishing, hoping that we find a way to beat the competition. Niggas switching, cotton picking, walk with bitches, talking different. You know, slipping, back for business. Wait, let me slow it down. Still full circle, I go around. Wait, never thought my city was a murder town. Rob like a dungeon dragon. Ran from the cops and my pants were hanging. Used to do dirt in a station wagon. Getting locked up in the station flagging. 03, I got to raise the Magnum. Bringing out the beast like a Hugh Jackman. Join the team like some new draftsmen. To get the rope like how they do in Hangman. Jump in the water, just be that flow. Don't go against that flow. Just be that flow, just be that flow. Jump in that water, just be that flow. Don't go against that flow. Just be that flow, just jump in that water. Yeah. Be that flow, just be that flow. Jump in that water. Be that flow, just be that flow. Don't go against it, God. Just be that flow, jump in that water. Yeah. Be that flow, just be that flow. Yeah. Just be that flow. Jump in that water. Be that flow. Just be that flow. Yeah. Don't go against it. Be that flow. Just be that flow. Don't go against it, Be that flow. Jump in that water. Be that flow.
Motherfucker, eh? Damn magnetic shit. Problems, we know how to solve them. Friends, problems, we know how to solve them. No love, no love, no love, that's what I get, huh?
Walter was a crackhead, always a crackhead. Remember when you owe money to those Asian guys in Montreal? Lucky, they from the 90s and they
Can't use my phone.
Ready to shoot you with a 12-gauge shorty, that's what you told me. I came to Montreal to save you, to bitch you. Never judge you for smoking hard, told you I used to sell that. That's rap, your family member. Nowadays, you finally change, you're acting insane. Always talking about money, you ain't rich dude. Your fancy cars don't impress me. I think they done that Fairfax. Ruckus like Carlito's way, your niggas is fake. My cousin Liz is a fool. Didn't come when we invited you, fuck you. Think you're the hardest, but when you're actually the weakest. Family problems, we know how to solve them. Friends problems, we know how to solve them. Family problems, we know how to solve them. Friends problems,
you need to socially distance yourself, G. Keep your respiratory droplets to yourself, Frederick.
Family problems, we know how to solve them. Friends problems, we know how to solve them. Yeah. My friends love me.
And backwards, we used to have to we would take the bandanas off in certain neighborhoods. Now we gotta put them on.
Didn't come to the family reunion last summer. Fuck you and your mama. I'm over it now. I wear the crown, respected everywhere. Wish you never there. Not even coke. Who you try to provoke? End up getting choked. This is you, but uncut law. Don't take friends in the same garbage. Spit knowledge. Bitch, I'm a problem. 30 years involved. If you cross that line, that's right. Cause I'm a psycho, a sicko with a good heart. They should have watched me on that search, and they turned into I don't know what. What the fuck? Made my cousin Mervin MIA. Must have been y'all. Come on, dog. Just me and my girl and a gun. Stuck in the slum, connected like the mafia. Yo, don't know nada. Ask mom and dad. They ain't got the answers. Getting more from strangers. Hold me down. I got the truth.
Those big houses, big huge houses you can't leave.
Holding me down, I got the truth now.
Those bubble cars.
Now.
You can't get in or out of them.
Family problems, I know how to solve them. Friends problems, I know how to solve them. Family problems,
well, I go anywhere I want. I just gotta walk in the gutter. I don't have to. I choose to.
Yeah.
Are you walking in the gutter? I'm 6.
Yeah.
Nobody's asked me that yet. You're smart enough to figure that out.
Last year, 2018, big show. 2018. Fuck out of here, man. All I needed, through my friends too, you know what I'm saying? My ex-friends, all I needed was support. Know your fucking money, know your choice.
Yeah, all these people went crazy, like one after the other. The guy yesterday kicked in my feet and things. Today he's got the gloves and the mask on, walking straight to his house. He's not hanging out or nothing today. You've nabbed by the public health people. What'd they tell you? Don't think, why did you get in that guy's face? That was the first thing they said to you. No, not because I'm the biggest, baddest gangbanger. You're missing the fucking point. Do you not watch the news? They all got $10 a month cable packages.
2020, man. Yeah,
I don't know, like, did they sell the TV set for crack or something? I don't understand. They don't seem to understand what's going on. Woo! Business is being conducted on all levels. The gas station's still open. McDonald's strike for the next week.
I'm hot when I do my thing. You hot too when you do your thing.
We hot. All the coffee times are gone. And the McDonald's ain't 24 hours no more. You can't even go in no more.
Girl, yeah, let's do a thing. Do a thing, baby girl, yeah, let's do a thing. Riding down 8th Street, suckers wanna hate me. Probably cause they see me sitting shoddy with they ladies. I'm fly, should've known better. Everybody know that I'm a real go-getter. Go get your girl, go get your chick. See you do your thing, baby girl, with them hips. You an angel in disguise, you a devil in disguise. I'm a devil in disguise, we can get it on, girl. Come to my world, we can get this thing poppin'. I show you things you never seen, girl, and I ain't stopping. Roll through the hood, everybody know me. I'm 21 and I'm a real OG. Yeah,
they know the two groups of people.
When I rap to it, yeah, took a break from the game, when
two groups of people tuning in on time. And the traffic, not that it matters because they repeat it every 10 minutes. And the business report, but only people tuning in on a schedule, man. No, it's not. It's 7:27, bitch. Our clocks are all synchronized. Well, we'll check with the military beep in 3 minutes. We'll check.
Is it to be believed? Greg Taylor is Chief Investment Officer.
The landline don't count because I have to set that one manually for some reason. It just ticked over too.
Bond market's actually functioning a lot better. And those banks starting to stabilize. I think there's a lot of fear that the banks weren't going to function if restaurant businesses started to.
Oh, the banks are safe. They got private security guards with guns. They're safe.
The market's functioning a lot better than it did a few weeks
ago.
We got
bubble cars and bubble homes. You notice how there's the inside of the bank is a bubble, then the machines are in a bubble, then there's other machines on the outside. They got layers.
The cases are still going up. The news is still troubling, but investors are buying stocks
again. You use that
Money
machine. Oh, it's empty? Sorry.
Look through the bad news. You want to see when things start to get better. It's almost a second derivative when things are getting less worse. And for a while, people were pricing in really bad numbers. It feels like day by day, people are starting to social distance. The shutting down mechanism is working. Things are getting better. And that's what stocks are looking for. They're looking for signs of things.
They ain't gotten bad yet,
bro. That's what they're the pricing and why the market's starting to rebound.
Everybody's just on their first week of staying home and getting free $2,000 from the government. This is not bad yet. These people don't know bad.
What advice would you give us, the many who are still worried about our finances here in the wake of this? I think you just want to take a long-term aspect here. We've had a lot of scary times in the last 15, 20 years, from the global financial crisis to the dot-com collapse in 2000. And people, you have to look long-term, that things do recover.
The dot-com bubble.
And people do start to get used to it, and markets go higher. If you have cash in the sidelines, it's usually a good time to put it in and market.
All the rich-ass people with no money.
But there's going to be some homework you have to do. You have to make sure you're looking at the right companies and figure out companies that are going to weather the storm or come out the other side. That's Greg Taylor with Purpose Investments. And at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
This is an important message from the City of Toronto. Stay home. During the COVID-19 pandemic, social distancing means staying home. Only go out for absolute essential needs, like food and medicine. We can't emphasize the importance of this enough. Stay 6 feet apart to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Avoid contact with others. Essential and critical services are being maintained. Please do your part. Learn more at toronto.ca/COVID-19.
This is the type of shit that'll drive someone crazy. There's a fucking knot in the hair, bro.
You get no-fee checking accounts.
You also get high interest
Well,
on
the hair's
deposits and
gone now.
investments and low mortgage rates. Plus, you get to share in the profits. That's the Duca difference. And now we're offering 2.5% interest on your savings until March 31st,
The business report runs all the way to the end of the
Find
hour
out
now.
how at earnmore.duca.com.
You're
Do
lying.
more,
It's
be
not
more, achieve
26,
more
it's 27.
with Duca Credit Union.
Ah, it's perfectly synchronized. It went beep, the clock turned over, and it went beep.
In Toronto, this is 680 News.
Just started the business report at
April the
56
10th,
minutes and 59 seconds is what they're
Here's what's
doing.
making news this hour.
The province is ramping up testing for COVID-19. We're doubling the number of tests.
Tell them about the Bears. Why is the video fucking up now when we're doing nothing?
To look out for.
A confirmed outbreak of COVID-19 at a Markham home that supports adults with disabilities has led to staff walking off the job. As the number of cases continues to rise south of the border, experts say COVID-19 is now one of the leading causes of death in the United States.
Number 9. Skip number 10. It's number 9.
Kids with schoolwork, an expert is here to give some advice so
The
you don't feel
billboard
too
chart at number
overwhelmed.
9.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly is getting pitches for neutral site hockey games, and the one-year pass interference rule in the NFL doesn't look like it's coming back. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, it
See,
will
all
be
these
weeks
new
before
rules,
companies
new
start seeing
rules.
the emergency
I don't
federal
even know what that
wage
new rule
subsidy
was.
that will allow them to keep people employed. But a payroll expert says at least it'll be retroactive to mid-March.
City News Time, 7:31. Time for traffic and weather together on
But
the
that's
line.
confusing.
The traffic
Weren't
center,
there
here's
people
Carly
sent home in
Donahue.
mid-March?
This report's
What-
brought to you by Lowe's. Not much happening right now. It looks
You
like people are
retroactively
only
pay
on the
them
roads
more
for
money?
essential travel, which is great. So the volume is limited. We don't really have any collisions or any delays in the entirety of the GTA. So you're in for a good drive if you have to go out. Just one small thing. This
List
is
off all the
College
highways
Road
again,
Eastbound 401 is closed, and that is for some construction. As always, if you see something we're missing, give us a hands-free call at star 680 and get directed to the traffic department, and we'll be happy to figure that out for you. At Lowe's, we're always here to help, and even more so in times of uncertainty. Our website's available 24/7 to deliver the tools and materials you need. Lowe's.ca. Your next report's at 7:41 with the forecast. Carl Lamb.
It's a cloudy start across the GTA this evening, but we will see a little bit of clearing, and those winds still out of the northwest, breezy between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then diminishing during the overnight. -2 is the low, feeling like -8. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -2.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at 7 degrees, feeling like 2.
The sponsor has been Weekly COVID-19 whatever. I was hoping that
Well,
they
you may
would
be
this one again.
frustrated with word that
Keep
the
missing.
province is acting at half the capacity when it comes to testing for COVID-19. Well, today the province pledging to now triple those efforts by the end of the month.
Qu'est-ce que c'est
Covid joins us
COVID-19?
with the
Où est
details.
COVID-19? Qui est
Any battle is
COVID-19?
knowing your enemy, and now the premier
Oui,
has a new
it's
plan.
not-
We're
à
launching
tuer,
the
à
next
tuer.
phase of our strategy
Hey,
to
Mark.
expand testing in Ontario. We're doubling the number of tests to 8,000 per day by April the
You're
15th
supposed to triple
and
it.
14,000 a day by April 29th.
So, how's it going to get done? Here's Health Minister Christine Elliott.
Our government remains committed to increasing the testing capacity in our province by leveraging hospital, community, and research labs.
What is a
Testing will be
community
prioritized
lab?
for people at long-term and retirement homes, hospital patients, and from
Are you knocking on drug dealers' doors asking them if they know how to cook? Like,
isolated
what the fuck
and
are you
indigenous
doing?
communities. The province also updating the list of symptoms of COVID-19, including a hoarse voice, difficulty swallowing, loss of sense of smell or taste,
Difficulty
and
swallowing.
diarrhea or nausea and vomiting. I'm Cam Dorrit.
Missed out on the diarrhea. I mean, I was hoping I would have like some horrible, amazing story.
In Markham, following a confirmed outbreak of COVID-19, Participation House is home to 42 adults with developmental and physical disabilities, with the now 10 confirmed to
You
have
just
the
walk
virus,
out on them.
along with 2 staff
Right.
members. Health Minister
Pussies.
Christine Elliott says public health officials have attended the facility to help with the outbreak.
We need to make sure that any of them exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms are going to be properly cared for We're going to need to put them into self-isolation.
You need to figure out everything that those people were supposed to be doing that they're not doing as well.
Mark and Mayor Frank Scarpitti, meantime, taking to
They're willing to walk off the job. What else weren't they doing?
Participation House, the mayor is specifically asking for donations of personal protective equipment for the staff. A troubling trend in the U.S. shows that some racialized communities are at a higher risk of death from COVID-19. Meantime, here
Killing
in
niggers and
Ontario, the
Indians again,
government
really?
does not collect race-based data. Faiza Amin, City News reports. Some experts say that leaves communities particularly vulnerable during this pandemic.
Oh yeah, we don't keep track of race because we're not racist.
It's what already exists in a society and within a system. And when that system is being taxed, what we end up seeing is that the most marginalized will fall to the bottom.
Medical experts like Notisha Mascoy have long called for the collection of race-based
You know what grows in
data,
sewer
which
grates?
calls
Weed
a symptom of
plants,
biases
where
that
trees
exist
stand in
Canada's
water.
healthcare system.
Ontario, a
Black
place to grow,
populations
motherfucker.
in particular are having the worst experiences, a lack of access to healthcare, and facing higher rates of illnesses.
Our situation is taxed.
And a shorter life
And those
expectancy.
communities are going to be further marginalized.
Ontario's COVID-19 website provides details on age and gender and confirmed
I can't get a referral to the blood clinic, and even if I did, it's in a hospital.
The province says
same
there's
the
no
hospital where the
specific
fucking
data from
doctor and the
who or other sectors
guard
that
assaulted
address
me.
racial risk factors. I'm Faiza Mead for City News. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the House of Commons will reconvene tomorrow to pass a wage subsidy for Canadian businesses.
It's really important, despite a time of crisis, in fact, because of a time of crisis, that our institutions remain strong and our democratic principles continue. Therefore, this address to Canadians tomorrow will be a little later
Don't mention
than from the floor of the House of Commons.
Because we're all taking the day off because it's the workers' holiday,
drop
right?
in revenue. The subsidy will provide payments worth 75% of an employee's pre-crisis weekly pay, up to a maximum of $847
It's okay, Mr. Trudeau, I know how to budget and survive.
Weeks. And the people asking this now,
You
why
did 14 days in your house, I bet that was hard,
That's the question
bro.
being leveled at the federal government now. The head of the
That's
Canadian
like
Medical
almost the whole
Association
case
tells
of
the
this.
Globe and Mail there was a 2006 report
Yeah, they
saying
sell
the
it by the
federal
case.
government needed to be better prepared for a pandemic. It noted things like a better stockpile of medical equipment. The CBC is also reporting the feds were warned in January and February of this year about the possibility of those coming here. Instead, the
They
feds were
warned
focused on
you.
getting Canadians
I remember
at the top,
clearly.
not focusing conversations about social distancing measures.
They didn't realize they had to
Inside
tell you
hour,
that.
There's cautious optimism as New York lowers its
Don't get within
infection
spitting distance of
rate.
people.
Governor Andrew Cuomo notes fewer ICU patients across the state and dramatically lower 3-day hospitalization rate. But he says the daily death toll is painful, and he's thanking healthcare workers on the front lines.
The numbers of loss are staggering. The numbers of lives they save are also just staggering.
Nearly 800 people died overnight in the state. 680 News Time at 7:37. With a
Overnight.
long weekend here, many parents are taking a deserved break as they try to cope with the pressures of having to homeschool their kids. 680's Safe Kaiser reports.
The first thing to remember is generally parents are not trained teachers.
Kelly Schwartz is a psychologist and associate professor at U of C. He says the most important thing is making sure your kids have the opportunity to learn
was that a
things
reference
every
to
day
the-
rather than just throwing the curriculum at them and hoping they keep up.
We need to take the pressure off some parents to feel like they need to, be those experts and to turn their homes into kind of mini schools.
His
You have a
advice,
computer
don't
or a
overwork
phone,
the
don't you?
Scheduling every day. Just make sure there's some time for learning,
Did you
physical
put
activity,
documentaries on the
and
TV or
relationship
something?
building.
We've got an opportunity here to spend time with our kids and to learn along in this experience that we likely will never have again in our lives. So let's take advantage of that. And let's see that as a positive.
I say Kaiser.
And we've had some lovely spring weather, but this weekend the weather is all over the place. Our meteorologist Carl Lamb tells us we'll have pros and cons this weekend.
The pro is that tomorrow is going to be a really nice day, a dry day, maybe for a walk or a little bit of fresh air during the day, and we'll get up to 10 degrees and
No,
we'll
stay
feel kind
home.
of nice with a mix of sun and cloud.
But Sunday will be the con.
A little bit more rain shower activity, temperatures not really cracking the double digits, and a bit of a breeze, so it may turn some of that rain into sideways rain.
Then on Monday,
Sideways
we'll start with
rain.
before
That's
getting
now a
into some
meteorological
intense
term.
winds.
The winds really pick up. The
Not it. Said it on the
sustained
radio,
winds will be
dude.
between 50 to 70
Sideways rain. That's
kilometers
what they
per
said,
hour.
bro. Sideways rain.
But as long as you continue to self-isolate, you probably won't even notice the crazy weather. Still come on 680
Self-isolate,
traffic
social
and weather together
distance,
on the ones.
sideways
But first, we'll
rain.
check where the price of gas is heading at midnight. 680 news time, 7:39. Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye
These people
Institute.
can't predict
Our
the price
eyes
of
play
gas,
such
and
an
they're going to
important
tell us
role
when
in
this
the spread
virus is
and
going to
prevention
peak.
of
Eh?
COVID-19.
Think
Avoid
about
touching
that.
your eyes, nose, and mouth.
These people
Wash
invest
your
in
hands
gas.
often, and be vigilant about cleaning door handles and
They don't
other
have
surfaces that are
they're not
touched frequently.
invested in this
If you wear
virus
contact
problem.
lenses, consider
This is a
wearing
poor
your
people
glasses.
problem.
Your health is what matters most to us. Google high definition vision and sign up for my blog so we can stay connected.
No.
Look after yourself. Promise me. Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, remaining at
Enpro?
77.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations.
I think it's
Traffic
74
and
over
weather
here.
together next. 680 News time, 7:40.
Whatever it is, it's like
Something's
4 or
always
5
coming up.
cents
Home
cheaper than
improvements,
this
kids'
place.
education, car repairs, credit card bills. Maybe you even saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood
Well,
Mortgage.
what? You know, sending it in the mail,
Use your
bro.
home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century. Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com. 10349.
Hi, I'm Anthony Longo. Our family has been proud to serve Ontarians for over 60 years. And like your family, we're doing our best to stay positive during these challenging times. I'd like to thank all our team members for their time with each other while we do our best to keep our shelves stocked, our stores clean, will bring us all closer together.
Hey, yo.
MMP, I think my buddy has one of those. It's a 90, right?
You don't get to play with us, I'm finished. I'm sick and that's cerebral, insanely relentless. Full of pain and words of rebuttal context. To flex with the sharp syllables and slice text. And step to a beat and step with the rhythm. I beat that ass like
Every time I go like I'm about to press the button, it
my
freezes.
personality's hitting, so which one is it? Got 7 homies in the brain and the derelict.
3 times in a row.
With the whole hard drive, no throw smash with these old soul gold lines. I'm the lifeline and I'm the life.
Oh yeah, the video sucks, but this ain't mine, is it? I don't own none of it.
Degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -2.
And right now in downtown Toronto, 6 degrees with a clear sky. The wind will be a wind gust of 41 kilometers an hour. Amid the shutdown from COVID-19.
Streaming service, it won't be ready in time because of the
My best friends don't test ends. We make rules.
I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Yo, I'm coming straight from the West End. Move from the Jane to the West End. Watch how you talk when you walk through my hood, cause you know that my niggas be pressing. Heavy artillery weapons. Ain't really into the questions. I ain't condoning no violence. The young is a wildin', they move kind of reckless. Got the keys, police stay patting niggas, stay cheese. I'm familiar face taps a nigga, safety. Didn't even wanna slap a nigga, he made me. Ain't nobody telling me nothing. I knew from a youngin' that I be the one I hit something. Now all of these rappers is bugging. You live in the burbs and you act like you came up from nothing. Shout out to my niggas on the plaza. Lane to connections, Southside Gaza. When I roll my backwood, better house robber. Never leave the house without my iPhone charger. Wallahi, my Molly's a rocker. Abdi Muhammad Mustafa. African man, that's my barber. Jamaican man, that's my shopper. Tell him the truth. Tell them the truth. These rappers, they lie in the booth. Lie in the booth. What's that got the realest? Just look at the proof. I'm living proof. The city's so litty cause we got the juice. We got the juice. So we got the juice. Nigga. I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the
They don't need to
West
shout out
End.
this neighborhood by name so much,
Nigga, what you saying?
as they like to shoot the videos here.
Jungle to the Rex, we beat. Rex,
Because
we
you wouldn't know
beat.
that if you're not from
Tell
Williams.
the
Like, where the
West
fuck
End
is
nigga
that?
by the way you speak, by the way you speak. Birds chirping loud in the hood, always lose they beaks, lose they beaks. Know that shotty with bodies that dumped in the creek. Stop, freeze. What I mean, looking sweet. Bitch, you got that degree. What do you mean? Bitch, you don't know what I seen. Bitch, you ain't been on the scene. Record is clean. I'm too wavy. Make her your man wanna date me. I got the sauce, gravy. More than they can ever taste me. Cause I'm from the West End. Bitch, nigga, better watch that top. And find out you top to the cops. But when it turn hot on your block. I'm from the West End. So you claim you a bad mind. Yeah, what a black out crew. Show you what a black out crew. But you didn't know that. I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying?
Oh, hell, we make wine in our fucking garages out here, right? Oh, we don't even need to import the wine. We don't have to. We don't have to. That's the state of emergency level here.
Yeah.
The wine that your neighbor started making a month ago.
Till the teams recast. We beat them schizo kids. We beat them schizo kids. Hey, yo. I hold a murderous mind, it's dark and twisted and blind, and meant to define as the grim reaper around. The dark night of master, spit natural disasters, lust for bone fractures and blood plasma class. I'm the one you don't get to play with, cause I'll finish you. Sick and the cerebral, insanely relinquisher. Glory of pain and verbs of rebuttal context. Complex vision, sharp syllables and slight smacks. And step to a beat, and step with the rhythm. I beat that ass like the beat when the bass starts hitting. My personality's hitting. So which one is it? Got 7 homies in the brain, including derelict. Stone cold heart with a go hard drive. Stone throw smash with these old so dope lines. I'm the lifeline and I'm the life death. Cause death every time I spit. When I use it, I'm so kid. If you know who this is, Dreamcast, Philly D, and the Terror hit. Psycho shit. Understood shit. Skip it when we spit. Go ahead and run your mouth. Go ahead and talk your shit.
All these people didn't realize that there were rules in society. The public health rules override everything. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want.
Tell me what you have heard because it isn't absurd. And when I'm spitting these rhymes, I get poetic at times. So don't be fighting my rounds, cause I'll be snapping this time. For all the lust and the souls who've given up on the goals because their luck full of holes, so lame heart that you cold. Keep a smile on your face, you just hate it such a waste. You don't want to end up changed and be the one with the blame. Cause I'm just killing these cops when I be spitting these raps, and I'll be done with these facts. You think you're better than that. When I be fighting this cage, I'll leave you all in a daze. With all the words that I say, just have to take it away. I look at you like you're not the only one who's on top. You really need to just stop and get the hell off your own. Maybe we're all just like you, don't really want to be rude, but you're just killing the mood and you're not gonna get used. You beat them skits so good that you know who you
Oh, I counted the empties and not. Every time I look, there's 2 more over here, 3 over here. It's not a bad thing. Every time I clean up my house with this shit, there'll be money in my pocket when I come back home.
psycho kids, yes, you know who this is. We be them schizo kids. Yo, I'll snap your shit. You haven't watched it, please in your rooms. Hearing my demented black bass and killing your crew. Sick in the head. I'm the grim reaper, but cheaper. I'll punch you in the eye through the motherfucking sleeping. The voices in my head erupt and explode. Stuck here spitting another schizophrenic episode. Looking for the rest of your split that I can find, and I'll pound it in this.
Look, be swallowing in a hoarse voice, but they didn't say sore throat. What goes along with that?
While you're on the floor, convulsing, struggling to breathe. Watch me cut off your air with strands of girls' leave and drag you by your desecrated face into
this guy's name is COVID-19.
So you start twitching. I should be in the mob. I'm a lunatic, but murdering MCs is my job. You know who this is. Dreamcat, silly D, and the terror lips. Lyrics are lunatic, spiritual psycho shit. Understood shit, chillin' when we spit. Go ahead and run your mouth, go ahead and talk your shit. Take the shit straight season, don't get your ass hit. Lyrics are lunatic, spiritual psycho shit. Just you know who this is. We be them schizo kids.
Whack cats like Windex. That is an ugly bud right there. It's an ugly bud. You're getting busted up because you're ugly. See the ugly bud? It's ugly. It's shaped funny. Shaped so funny. It's an ugly bud. It's gotta go. Don't be like one down at the hardcore drug addicts. They'll be like, no, that one's different. I want that one. Like me with my dented tins. No, my luck, that was a seed that fell. It hit a piece of paper. That's the only reason I heard it. I've seen other missing.
YG back on the tracks and the crack shit's wraps on the stack. Niggas don't love you. That's the fact. The Mac, no cheese, God bless me, no sneeze. Niggas see me and breeze. 40 no shit, these get strapped to the slab. They moving like a stack. Never lack, just rack. Put them in a box, no jack. Roll one deep, never need a pack. Hey. Niggas know me from north to the south. Never need no one, make my own club. Southside, reach apart, nigga, that's my road. Niggas selling drugs, man, I'm in a drought. They all know what I'm about. Stacking bread, talk shit, catch lead to the head. Off the shits, no meds, give a fuck on the red. Stay away from the feds, on the streets, no bed. Hey, deep water, I drink, off snow, no sled. Off swamp, me dead, this day I dread. Bitch gave me head, see my strap, they bled. Hey, I know they said I don't be shit when I was in the ditch. No pussy, I'm rich, they low, don't switch, they solid one bitch. See the flick of the wrist, I'm awesome shit, talk shit, get hit, big punk on me lit. I keep my stick, I let it flick just like a dick. I'm in his house like old Saint Nick. She want my dick, she know I'm sick. I ain't a crick, that crack I nip. I hit his lip if he talking shit. Fuck his click and fuck his gang. I'll hit the 3 just like I'm dang. She wanna hang that booty I bang. If he owe my gang, them hollows hang. My shorty's pang. She loves when I sing. She feels the pain. I'm in the rain. Hit a stain if it means getting paid. And this my click, you getting laid. I'm in the rate. I got that work, you know it's A grade.
Can't do nothing about that blood in my face still.
She's back, man. You know you're rocking, man.
Why am I supposed to go get tested?
Find the paint, man. You know you're rocking.
The fucking works is contaminated.
Hit him with a slug, gon' make him move slow. You know me, I'm all about my dough. Gotta make sure my boys don't blow. They love my beat, they rate my flow. My neck is cold, it's 0 below. Big wrist gon' shoot, you know I drove. I keep my heat, I ain't talking about a stove. I'm in a trap selling food, no fresh code. That nigga wants beef, my strap gon' blow. Every time I jump a truck, my cloak gon' grow. Made sure he told me, don't love a hoe. I should've known that she was right. Because of that, we really tight. I'll bust my strap if she gon' fight. Hoodie on, alright at night. I'll show my might, never flight. 40 with the demon, he inciting. I ain't missing, I ain't slipping, never tripping. Coke I'm whipping, check my waist, I'm really dripping. Packs I'm flipping, niggas talking, niggas snitching. Trigger finger really itch for fake. Niggas that want me dead. 9, I'll get 2 in the head. These niggas run to God like Ned. Check my flag, it's really red. Married to the game, not newlywed. Niggas watch my every move. They just wanna see me lose. These niggas lost like booze. My flow is sick, it's got the flu. Hey, I make bread, just call me Dempster's inner mouth, just like a denture. I am icy, looking fresher. Fuck that bitch, I'll never miss her. She respect me, call me Mister. Since she left, I have been better. Really wish I never met her. Page these niggas like a letter.
That doesn't usually happen.
Fresh out the click and I'm back, don't sell a west side. I've been rolling with the click of no
not
no
taking responsibility for that.
Get my fucking cash on, mash on, rack, bucket, no, get your ass on. Fast on my feet, no fence, no chases, no lead, no cases, no bled, no faces, those dead, no traces. You don't wanna try me, no patience, no patience.
Like
Head to the eye, see you ready to die. Ski mask, gonna identify the holes in the hide, but I'll find a way to empathize. I don't play so way to not break the skin. You can pray your fucking day, but it ain't no way you'll make it in. Take away your faith and friends, family, and what's left with unknown assailants. Lacing the slum steps, I ain't a suspect. I ain't on the risk, I'm a no-face killer. They don't know I exist. I got my 9 millimeter situation getting done. Till I got back, all the jacks once they get stuck. Come from us, want to tackle with my motherfucking no-face mask on. Black market, don't get your ass. Got my 9 millimeter situation getting done. Till I got back, all the jacks once they get stuck. Come from us, want to tackle with my motherfucking no-face mask on. Black market, don't
I
get
can't
your
figure out when they do
ass.
the fucking news in French.
Leaving slugs, snuff the mango, fucking strangle. Bringing pain from every angle, leaving fangs, cutting tangles, leaving snitch on my ankles in the back of my side of the house. Don't even got a bounce, cause I'm clear up all the counts for now. Dead on the scene is clean and seems red. Muzzle tattoo weapons, the police ain't even seen yet. Now who's next to die? The next to be rested by the killer, leave no witness, so nobody can testify. Never arrested by no 5-0. And to my rivals, the spending game is venom spray. I get no way to survival. I know you ain't gonna try though. Can't reason with the cycle. With my pose and my pose and my pose when the knife falls. Get my dough when I roll with gas, cause if you're very bitch. Every clip is making Cooper's mortuary bridge. Born to scary tricks. Born to getting toe tags. Born to make those back out and blow back up with the phone man.
Come on, let it be desperate here. Right to the phone. Let it be rolling. Tell us about the Bears again. Watch, they won't repeat it. They make me sound like I'm making this shit up.
I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch said I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it. Yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. I love the rain when it falls, yeah, I'm blessed. Both the fame and the cars and the jets. I had them thinking I was gone to the psych ward. I never left to live the life you would die for. Tell that hoe I can't save her, I'm no lifeguard. Maybe you can get the G, but I might charge. Pull up to the spot, they're like, who's that there? Hands up, give me the loot like a cashier. What you thought? Are you dumb? I don't play shit. I'll kill you and your brother with the same clip. For that bullshit you've been talking, boys, ain't you? I'm a different man now, leave your face. While she said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be spinning, I'm winning. They don't like it. Yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. While she said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be spinning, I'm winning. They don't like it. Yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Yo, first spot, then I'm leaving unidentified. Just a rental, had to drop it off at Enterprise. Shell cases in the whip, had to check it twice. I think my OGs for that shit, they give good advice. Yeah, this is to be a genocide. These motherfuckers want me dead, but I can never die. I'm the reason why your wife said she met a guy. 2 minutes in a swisher just to get inside. Yeah. We are not the same kind. You gotta pay dues, I already paid twice. Y'all don't make moves, all you do is waste time. I'ma always be woke while you haters stay. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it. Yeah, I bet. See the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning.
COVID-19, the province coming down on daycare operators who continue to charge parents
Daycare
for
operators, group
childcare
home operators, everybody's fucking crooked,
spot
eh?
in the universe right now. 2 astronauts who've been up in
The
space
criminals
for
are not who
almost
you
half
think
a
they are.
year prepare to come back to Earth next week.
The XFL lays off all employees and shuts down operations effective immediately, and the province of Quebec
They're
says
charging
no
a fee for
gatherings
being
in
closed.
sports until the end of August. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, companies are taking action to support the mental health of Canadians during the coronavirus pandemic. We'll hear from an expert on the importance of preparing for any aftershocks.
680 News time, 8:01. Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carly Dunningham. This report is brought to you by the 407 ETR. Traveling on the eastbound 401 this evening, that's the only spot you're going to see any form of construction or collisions. We do have the southbound Carling View ramp to the east 401 shut down right now for that maintenance. And then MTO just letting us know that at the 404 in the Express, you're going to find a collision taking over the left-hand shoulder and the left lane. So it doesn't seem to be causing any kind of delays or anything like that, but it might be a visual distraction. So just a heads up on that one. Otherwise, you are completely in the clear
for the 2 cars that are going to drive by the next
right
hour.
now. Everything is looking up to speed, and you're good to go. If you're taking the 407 ETR, they thank you for continuing to follow social distancing rules. Together, we can beat the COVID-19 virus.
Hold on, that's not a public safety announcement, then. That's if you take their road.
Here's Carl Lamb.
If you take the road, you're in a car, you're not going to be within 6 feet of nobody.
Evening, but we will see a little bit of clearing. Those winds still out of the northwest, breezy between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then diminishing during the overnight. -2 is the low, feeling like -8. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -2.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it's 6 degrees with a clear sky, feeling like 1 degree. Similar conditions at Pearson Airport, 5 degrees, also feeling like 1. 680 News time, 8:03. In an aggressive push towards more testing, the Ford government has unveiled a plan to triple daily testing by the end of the month.
I want to hear
the
about
news
bears.
comes after criticism that Ontario was lagging behind. 680's Cam Dorrit joins us with the latest update from the Premier and Health Minister.
The Premier says testing will be doubled to 8,000 a day by April 15th, 14,000 a day by April 29th, and 16,000 by May 6th. The testing will be prioritized for those in long-term care homes, hospital patients, frontline workers, and first responders.
We're going to protect those in rural, remote, northern, and indigenous communities, and increase testing for those in homeless shelters, prisons, and group homes.
Health Minister Christine Elliott wanted to remind Ontarians that only those who show symptoms should get a test.
There is a group of people that are called the worried well. They're worried about having COVID-19. I think almost everyone in Ontario is right now. But we need to concentrate our resources on the people that are showing the symptoms.
Elliott also updated those symptoms to include a hoarse voice, trouble swallowing, diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, and loss of taste or smell. I'm Cam Dorrit.
Ontario's education minister says the province is now preventing childcare centres from collecting payments while they're closed due to COVID-19. Stephen Lecce says nobody will lose their childcare space as a result of not paying. For payments made starting on April 9th, meaning those who paid at the beginning of the month will not get their money back. Some childcare centres are looking after the kids of healthcare and other frontline workers have remained open, but the rest were shuttered due to the pandemic. You're listening to 680 News. A market home for adults with disabilities is in dire need of help after the outbreak of COVID-19 caused staff to walk off the job. Participation House is home to 42 adults with disabilities, and as of today,
you ever see a parent of a young child walk right up to a gangbanger? Who gets nervous and takes a step back? Me. I don't know what they want. They can really fuck me over if they want to.
We need to do a number of things quite rapidly, but this is a population that we absolutely need and want to protect.
Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti says personal protective equipment is even more critical to the House because it has 6 separate units.
Meantime, the federal government has launched a special advisory group aimed at making sure Canadians with disabilities are properly included in the national response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Disability Inclusion Minister Carla Qualtrough says underlying medical conditions, discrimination in accessing key services, and additional challenges related to physical distancing measures all place Canadians with disabilities at greater risk of COVID-19. The new advisory group comprises organization leaders and accessibility advocates covering a range of physical and intellectual disabilities.
No mask when they're going to test positive
the pandemic has shone a new light on the ways disabled Canadians struggle to gain equal access to everything from government communications to the healthcare system. Emily Jabowski, The Canadian Press.
The RCMP will start checking to make sure the people ordered to stay home are doing so. The Public Health Agency of Canada has asked the force to physically check to make sure people who have been ordered to self-quarantine are complying. In other ways, the RCMP say a person who causes a risk of imminent death or serious bodily harm to another person while willfully or recklessly contravening this act could be fined up to $1 million or jailed for up to 3 years or both. Police say arrests would be a last resort tactic.
Now to south of the border to the epicenter of the outbreak of COVID.
They'll shoot you before they arrest you. That was the warning right there. They didn't say it. They will shoot you before they arrest you.
777 in one day.
Oh, that's the paramedics'
problem. The number of people hospitalized is growing far less than last week. A possible sign the outbreak in New York is peaking. New York State is getting help from Google to overhaul a decades-old unemployment benefit system that left laid-off workers frustrated and awaiting help. And Google helped New York design a revamped website that launched Thursday evening.
The coronavirus task force briefing today, meantime, began with U.S. President Donald Trump addressing the media about stockpiling ventilators. He announced ventilators are being made with some being put on reserve.
What's reserve? We're making thousands of ventilators, many of which we won't need, but we'll use them in our stockpile. And we'll build that up. We'll also help build up the stockpiles, which they should have had in the States.
The most critically ill COVID-19 patients require ventilators when pneumonia attacks their lungs too harshly.
We don't need them.
And as we will continue to grapple with persistent messages to stay at home and physically distance, Italy is now in its 5th week of nationwide quarantine and has officially extended its lockdown.
Italy's Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte confirmed what papers here have been reporting for days now, that the national lockdown set to end mid-April will be extended until May 4th. Conte said unless the lifting is handled slowly and gradually, it could lead to a frustrating return of fast-spreading contagion. Essential factories will be the first to relaunch, along with stationery and bookstores, which will open next week. A panel of experts will manage the new normal, where social distancing both in and outdoors is expected to continue. Megan Williams, ABC News.
Spending her time making masks to keep others safe. 680's Irene Precklin has more.
She's only 18 years old, already making a difference. Durham Region's Taryn.
Through senior homes, nursing homes, or centers.
She says despite health challenges of her own, Byers is always thinking of others and has already made more than 400 masks.
She inspires me as a young woman. This is what we want our children to be when they grow up, and she is the epitome of that.
If you want to nominate someone who is spreading COVID kindness, go to 680 News.
Spreading COVID kindness. Yeah, you should rearrange those words,
Coming up in 30
eh?
seconds, we'll take a look at gas
I know
prices.
people spreading
680 News
COVID
time,
kindly.
Working from home?
Stay up to date on the coronavirus.
Now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day on your radio,
680news.com.
or ask to play 680 News on your smart speaker.
Of course, you always want to be there for your parents and grandparents, but when you can't be right there with them, Direct Alert by TELUS Health can be. This personal emergency response service gives your loved ones access to 24/7 support at the push of a button, and knowing they're taken care of takes some of the worry away. Direct Alert by TELUS Health is simple to install yourself, ships directly to you, and starts at $25
Yeah, because I care,
a month.
but I'm a
Right
cheapskate.
now, you can save up to $180 a year on select plans. Visit directalert.ca for details.
Now, the 680 News gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will not change at
Wow,
midnight,
that's not
remaining
an
at
update then.
77.9 cents a liter at most
news.
GTA stations. 680 News time, 8:10.
Get your ass up out the floor, nigga. Get back to the job. Fresh your stuff, nigga. Walk on the streets, you need a GDSL copy. Class 6, put my life on the beat. No matter what, I'm a geek. If I'm the workforce late, might as well make it the peace. I go hard till I'm in that box. I look big and such a bitch with the chain. Now I'm cooking rocks. Can't see too many jobs.
By the OGs, the G's of old. I don't know, they run everything from the water to the highway. I mean the same thing.
Tell me what this mean. You can call it greed, I call it get by any means. Yeah, the KID, aka the sad man, putting to sleep like rockin' bye-bye, baby. Will the sun come up tomorrow? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, boy, done lost his way. Walking like you lost the baby, where they say, yeah, boy, done lost his way. Nothing good here on the ground was playing. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Walk a million miles to where to stay. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here on the ground was playing. Yeah, the boy.
I was raised up west side, money motivated mind, teens standing corners, how would these be on the rock and grind? Do this all the time, every day, you know I gotta ride. Money be a girl, say goodbye, cause now the bitch is mine. It's just another day, another crime, we live in the devil's way, like renegades. Watching two big crazies on the end of the day. Get on your knees and pray like you're about to meet the Lord today. Slowly starting to fade, lost, slipping into an unconscious state. You don't want that faith, living life in the hood, it's for the soldiers, hold your folder. The paper I used for my kush, time to roll. So I had caught never showed up or what? So I let get fucking get more bucks. With that lean for a nigga like me, I might rob your whole family tree. Yeah. What that means for a nigga like me, I might rob your whole family tree.
Yeah, boy, done lost his way. Walking a million miles to where to stay. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was playing. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Walking a million miles to where to stay. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was playing. Yeah, the boy.
I need a website like a sports statistics website. Tell me what date each country got its first case and all this shit. How many recovered versus how many died. They don't want to give us that information because they assume quite correctly that we'll bet on it.
Going hard to my number call, trust me dog. You ain't prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Work the car, the artillery I got, cut you in half like a chainsaw. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, bags out. Stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look at what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my crib, harassment.
She just jammed the needle in her arm, now she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see and have seen is but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, serving fees. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit, that gang life revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guards before you hurt someone you love. No remorse on my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I'll take it about shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any part of this. I'm on that leave you retarded shit. We ain't shit, not giving a fuck who started it. Try me, see how far you get. 4 goons in a stolen whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day up. Fucking clown, should've paid up. Not a great nigga putting in work. Covering your coffin in dirt. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he got what he deserved. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker.
The only thing that clock doesn't do is it doesn't glow in the dark anymore. All the radioactivity leaked out or something.
There ain't no peace, all I see is violence in the streets. Junkies in the alleyway, homie broke his by any means. Random robberies just to feed. Close your eyes, imagine what it's like to be me. It's just the nature of the beast, no warning. We just sink our teeth, we put the competition apart. Once the gun goes off, it can start. He played until he passed on. A grown man cry like a hoe. What a sad song. All my soldiers put your flags on. We gon' bang to this song. I keep the strap like an ace in the hat. Yeah, I'd rather get caught with it than with hurry where I'm at. Got no time for rats. Tell broken nigga kiss her ass. We don't talk to police, got no respect for the bad. That's why I keep the gun in mass right next to the
There's so much about us, and every turn they're cutting the funding for everything.
It's the nature of the beast. Say you can't play, you can't. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Say you can't play, you can't. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Say the nature of the beast. Say you can't play, you can't. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast, yeah, the nature of the beast.
I'm jumping on deck with my hand on my tech. Disrespect but Marvin, get your face in your lap. You claiming you hardcore, but doing bass in the trap. I'm loading my gun up, where the fuck boys at? It's murder, homie. Don't talk shit, get your burner, homie. Chrome on me, and I'm down for the first degree. First 48, and my cousin on tape. Cutting the cop up with a dirty razor blade. These days are crazy, but we stay getting paid. Fuck with the boss, so your homework is great. I'm hanging with real killers, it's hanging with drug dealers. My city's a melting pot, controlled by the devil's plot. Don't care if you're ready or not, leave you down on the block.
HSBC emailed me and told me about this business bank account thing before I heard about it on the news. Supposedly it was announced today. I got the email last night. You can borrow up to $40,000.
You can't play, you can't. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast.
I don't know if that's supposed to be because you survived this, now you owe $40,000.
The nature of the beast. You can't play, you can't. The nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Yeah, the nature of the beast. You ain't gangster. All you do is talk. You some fat up wankster. Stuck up in the bench, you get checked up. Wankster. Then switch the score with my banks stuck. Banks cut. Start to pay the boss when you stay blind. Fucking blank, so you change up danger. Creeping in the average, you ain't wrong. Just stay away from the games. Race up. Aim up at your brain, then we split slots. Raced up. In the gutter legs, where we laced up. Slant drums, ain't no other way. Homie, can't go. Baker. Boy, I tell it dawn for a gangster. Text one, they same thing. Then I can't cut straight. We insane quakes with our brains nuts. Place fucking with the Mary J. Slam. Make bucks all but the broad, but we back up. March, cause we gangsters. Brawling, you bankrupt. You can't play me.
sniffed, she sniffed, she sniffed.
You can't play. Said you can't play. You can't play.
I find it very intriguing, the things people hang on to. Because I'm walking along and there's an old woman in a doorway smoking a bong. Okay, 2 days in a row I see her. Maybe it wasn't in a row, but 2 different days I see her there. I guess it's her thing now. She sits in the doorway, smokes a bong. Cool, okay, it's legal. But she's not homeless, but that's another story. And she's got a grinder, and I saw her, she's got like some type of ashtray thing. The wind is doing 60, 70, 80 kilometers. She's sitting outside smoking. There's no reason whatsoever, but she's ashing the cigarette carefully in the ashtray as the wind is whipping the ashes up into the stream. Why? Why did that little motion? Why? Why do people hang on to those things?
Keep you up at night? I don't mind.
I don't know what way it hurts the world or her brain, but there's something missing, right?
Started new for Our proven
it's not hurting nobody. She's sitting there smoking weed and cigarettes. Don't bother her, I'll kill you.
Now I sleep at night, my debts are paid off, and I only make one monthly payment.
But as I walked by, I couldn't help but notice. Why do you have a fucking ashtray? What the? Bitch, what do you have an ashtray for?
News time, 8:21, and let's head over to the Traffic Center with Carly Duddy.
Ashes might land on the dirt and make it dirty,
This
right?
report is brought to you by Queensway Hyundai. Thanks, Christine. Right now, traveling onto the eastbound 401, the southbound Carling View ramp is blocked.
That raises the question. I don't know what she was doing with the cigarette butts because she didn't have a bunch of
At the
them.
404 in the express, we've got a left lane closed off with a collision.
Probably
I'm
blew down
looking
the
at the
fucking
cameras. It
street.
actually looks like they've taken out the left shoulder and the 2 left lanes. There's a bunch of emergency crews on scene, so just maybe sticking to the collectors through this stretch.
Going to the
There are
hospital.
no delays in the express. You're moving just fine as well.
For the
Just more of a
COVID.
visual distraction at this point. It does look like only one of the lanes is open for use right now. Buy with confidence at Queensway Hyundai now offering
You
purchase from
jinxed
home
it. There's
solutions.
there's
6-month
nothing
payment deferrals and
whatsoever
concierge
except for the
services.
one
Here
thing.
to service the community,
you
visit
should have said it that way.
queenswayhyundai.ca. Your next report is going to be coming up at 8:31. Now with your forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Every 10 minutes is going to be a different thing.
We'll
Why?
feel like -8 thanks to those blustery northwest winds that will eventually die down during the overnight, and we'll get into a little
The
bit of
damaging
clearing
winds.
as well tomorrow.
Damaging.
10
They use
degrees
the
with a
word
mix of sun and
damaging.
cloud, a southwesterly breeze between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. 8 degrees on Sunday with rain showers and cloudy conditions. Cloudy for Monday with a high of 15 degrees. Rain showers in the morning, but those winds sustained between 50 to 70 kilometers per hour, and those gusts could be as high as 90 kilometers per hour. A cold front moves through, and we drop all the way down to 0 on Monday night. 4 degrees for Tuesday with a rain-snow mix possible. Tonight's overnight low -2.
And right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds. It's 5 degrees, feeling like -1. 4 degrees at Pearson Airport, feeling like -2. And remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $21,000.
Here's some good news for a change. Pickle Barrel Catering is doing even more to keep the GTA well-fed. Introducing real fresh family meals for 4. Get nutritious and definitely delicious meals for 4 delivered right to your door. Stuffed chicken supreme with roasted potatoes and green beans. Slow-cooked beef brisket with garlic mash. Salmon teriyaki with stir-fried veggies and more. All starting at just $49.99. Plus,
Just had
PickleBarrelCatering.com has
difficulty
free
swallowing.
delivery.
My
So
throat
stay
kept
home,
catching
stay safe,
fire.
and let Pickle Barrel Catering take care of dinner.
Coming up at 8:30, the latest on Premier Ford acknowledging not enough testing is being done for COVID-19 in Ontario. Ford vowing today to double testing to 8,000 people a day by next week and will quadruple that number in a month. So far, just 94,000 have been tested in the province.
News
is always changing.
now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask to play us on your smart speaker.
From hemming pants and skirts to making face masks, a chain of alteration shops is pitching in and retooling
There's a
to produce
chain
masks to
of
help service
alteration shop.
frontline
Wait, you're going to
workers
tell me
and
there's
the general
competing
public.
chains.
Stitch It is based in Burlington and operates in 55 locations right across Canada.
Really?
It says it has the ability to produce
You
up to
went national on that
78,000
shit.
masks a
What?
week. The CEO says the company has offered its production capacity to the federal and provincial governments. It will also be selling them online to the general public in the coming week. And if you don't feel like cooking and are hoping to dish out some
Rosie
delivery
the
or
Riveter.
takeout options, there is a new online restaurant hub showcasing Toronto restaurants. ToGoToronto.com sorts options available by delivery, takeout, location, and culinary type, along with a map of restaurants. Tourism Toronto is behind this site and says it makes it easier for residents to support local businesses while also respecting health guidelines and staying home. And there's no charge for businesses to register. Coming up in a minute's time, we'll have the weekend business report. 680 News Time, 8:25.
Toronto is enriched by publicly owned services that help make this the best city in the world. From librarians who help us research projects, to public health nurses who keep us healthy, to recycling collectors who keep blue box materials out of landfills. These public services are integral
The
to a
level of
vibrant and
emergency
prosperous
we're at
city
is that the
because they're
grocery
accountable
stores
to
are all
residents
closed
and
today
good
for a
both the
holiday.
economy and workers. You can
They're
support
not
them by
worried that
visiting
we're going to panic in the street.
A message from the Canadian Union of Public Employees.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example,
So all the people you
Northwood
see at the
regularly
grocery store and get the
helps
day
families
off,
get
but all the
into
people
new
you don't
homes
see
after
get
the banks
overtime.
turn them down. Unlike the big banks,
All the
Northwood
shelves will
Mortgage
be
is more
magically
flexible.
restocked
Northwood
tomorrow.
Mortgage listens
And the same thing will
and
happen
works harder
Tuesday.
to create a solution that's customized for you.
And the whole city's going to smell like truck driver piss.
NorthwoodMortgage.com. License 10349.
There's nothing you can do about it.
And if
We're
we're
glad
up
the
by more
sewers
than
are
3
clear.
degrees,
You
Well,
can win our cash jackpot.
A number that continues to grow.
Enter at 680news.com.
now the 680 News Business Report.
I'm Carl Garnash. The coronavirus pandemic is leaving many Canadians financially stressed, which is having a significant impact on their mental health and well-being.
oh,
To make
really?
sure people are getting the support they need during this
That's why
time,
the liquor store
Green
and the
Shield Canada
cannabis
is
store
among
are
the companies
still allowed
taking
to
action,
operate.
sponsoring Stronger Minds, which is a free digital program full of resources to help Canadians navigate the situation. Joe Blomley, Executive Vice President of Individual, Public Sector and Mental Health at Green Shield Canada, says there is usually an aftershock following a crisis like this.
So if you look at data from SARS, from the tsunami in Japan, from 9/11, there was a so-called pandemic after the pandemic, or a shock after the shock. So based on our data, we assumed something similar was going to happen. And based on the feedback we've gotten from our own employees and clients, it does seem like there is a mental health challenge that's starting to percolate up.
He adds the first reaction to the pandemic has been a focus on the ability of the government to handle the situation from a healthcare perspective.
What we're now seeing is obviously the economic consequences of essentially a shutdown of our economy. You throw on the ramifications and mental health challenges that come out of a healthcare crisis. If you throw on top of that the serious economic financial crisis or financial consequences that people are dealing with right now, it is a double
cascading effect.
As we begin to come out of this situation, Blomley says it's likely we will see a staged return to normalcy for workers.
It's like going to the gym for your mind, right? It's about recognizing and changing unhelpful thinking patterns, developing personal coping strategies. The undercurrent of this crisis from a mental health perspective is going to be there for a long period of time, so we want to make sure that people have those tools and the skill set to manage the mental health aspects of the return to normalcy that will, I'm sure, eventually see at some point in the next several months.
Joe Blomley is the Executive Vice President of Individual, Public Sector and Mental Health at Green
Companies that have
Shield
been
Canada.
nationalized without technically being
I'm
nationalized.
Carl Garnash.
David Jones here
Oh,
from
the
Hire the
federal
Gardener.
government's paying your
COVID-19 has brought a
payroll,
lot of change.
and your
I hope you're
company is
coping well.
operating at
Many have
cost
asked
to
me
make
if we're
shit
still
for the
open.
government.
Absolutely. The grass will still grow.
Well, we're not
weeds will still
nationalized
need
yet.
picking,
Not
and the
technically.
gardener is still 100%
No, you're not technically in the
committed to
Army. You
maintaining
sort
and
of are,
beautifying
but
the 24/7 view from your
unofficially.
window. You don't have to come near us, but you can definitely wave to us. Talk to us at
this whole
hirethegardener.com.
country's militant
Take
like
care. Take care of your home, and let's all take care of each
that.
other.
You take care of your
For
home,
this weekend
Bradley.
only, Untuckit is having their best of spring promotion with 25%
You stay in your house.
It's never a good look when when you untuck
Oh,
a
I get
home
drunk and
while
get crazy
and
things
that's why
sometimes in
Untuck
the
It
street.
shirts specifically designed to be worn that way. Untuck It offers 50 fit combinations, so tall, short, slim, and bigger guys can experience the perfect fitting
Takes
shirt.
about 2
And this
hours for
weekend
the
only,
cops
you
to
can
show
now
up.
get 25% off at untuckit.ca during their
I don't do it very often, eh? That's where you people need to draw the line. You can act like an idiot sometimes.
Code VEST25.
Tim Chapman is our editor this hour. James Backen is our digital desk.
Somebody has to be the drunk yelling in the street at 2 in the morning in the ghetto. Somebody has to do that. Nobody was doing it, so I did it. This was before this epidemic thing happened.
For news in Toronto, this is 680 News.
Somebody called the cops, and they eventually showed up, and the person goes, I called the police, and why are you telling me?
Here's what's making news this hour.
Doug Ford promises more testing.
The first step to winning any battle is knowing your enemy.
With new symptoms to look out for, health officials want to double daily tests by next week.
Staff at a Markham home for adults with disabilities have walked off the job following an outbreak of COVID-19.
Next week.
In an effort to prevent
The
closed
next
child care operators across the
business
province
day.
charging fees to parents, Ontario's education minister has issued an emergency order. York Region has launched
You wouldn't think they would have to actually make that rule, eh? You cannot charge money for not operating. What the fuck?
Site hockey games.
Oh, we're not allowed to operate? Well, you have to pay us to hold your spot.
It's coming back.
What spot? You're
And
closed.
coming up in business, the coronavirus pandemic has upended the way we do grocery shopping, and it's especially challenging for healthcare workers.
There's probably some
That
stupid
challenge has
oddball
prompted
amount
a new
that
website.
sounded reasonable.
City News
We
Time,
gotta
8:35
confuse you with the amount. It can't be a simple number. It's gotta fucking be $17,
This report's brought to you by
$9, some
St.
fucked
Louis
up
Bar
number.
and Grill. Not much happening on the major routes. We're delay-free in the city right now, which is some good news. But
Charging
just one
$600 a
collision
month.
we're seeing on the westbound 401 at the 404 in the
Your
Express.
parking
Actually, it's
space
just
at
a
work
little
ain't
bit west of the
$600 a
404.
month.
In the Express
It's a
lane, you're
parking
going to
spot
find
for your kid.
2 left lanes taken out for that collision. Only the one right-hand lane is getting through. Emergency crews are on scene handling it, but it does actually look like they've hooked up the vehicle onto a tow right now, so it won't be there much longer, but no delays. It's just more of a visual distraction at this point. On the eastbound 401, there's no access to that highway from southbound Carlingview, and other than that, we have nothing going on your major routes right now.
There's
Just
more
a
and
bit of
more
long-term
every
construction on
fucking
city
time
streets,
you open your
and you're
mouth.
good to
Well,
go.
there's nothing.
St. Louis Bar and Grill thanks you for supporting
The
local
highway
businesses,
guards of the
including your local
GTA
St.
get
Louis
awoken
restaurant
and
through
say, hey,
takeout
wait a
and
second.
delivery. Their team is
Fuck your
gratitude goes to the
virus.
first responders, keeping us all safe. Your next report is at 8:41.
Your
with the
paramedics
forecast.
and
Here's
cops and
Carl
fire
Lamb.
department all need to do some work.
Across the GTA this
Oh, and
evening,
the
but
tow
we
truck
will see a
drivers.
little bit of clearing. Those winds still out of the northwest, breezy between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then diminishing during the overnight. -2 is the low, feeling like -8. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -2.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at 5 degrees, feeling like -1 with that wind. And we have a few clouds. 680 News Time, 8:33. Premier Doug Ford is looking to drastically ramp up COVID-19 testing as criticism over lackluster testing numbers surfaced.
What about sickle cell testing, you bastard?
478 new virus cases were announced today, along with 22
That's the
deaths.
bad
60's Cam
blood
Dorn
coming
has the
out.
latest from Doug Ford.
The province has failed to test at even half capacity, and the premier is fed up. Doug Ford vowed to double testing to 8,000 a day by April 15th and all the way up to 16,000 a day by May 6th.
One sickle cell subtype
in a
test.
positive position where every frontline health worker, every
They're gonna tell me
first
I'm
responder,
other. That's what they're gonna tell
every
me,
worker
other.
and resident at long-term care homes, and everyone in the general public who needs it.
I need one, but I don't need it because I already know I'm sick. All the symptoms I had that didn't match up to the list are now on the fucking list.
Difficulty swallowing,
That one?
loss of sense of smell or taste,
I never had that.
diarrhea or nausea and vomiting.
More than
Nausea.
94,000 people have been tested so far.
I missed out
in
on the
province.
diarrhea.
I'm Cam Dorrit.
A Markham home for adults with
I wanted to have a
disabilities
good story.
confirmed
Tell me your
outbreak of the
COVID story.
coronavirus caused
I
staff
was
to
on the
walk
shitter
off
for
the
like
job,
3 days.
leaving
Wow.
residents unattended. 10 residents and 2 staff
I was
members
just
at
flushing.
Participation
We
House
have
in
no
Markham
idea. It
have
was just a
tested
bad
positive
milkshake.
for COVID-19. Health Minister Christine
melted
Elliott
ice cream.
says the
Like, it was
government
just
is aware
horrible.
of the situation and will be assisting the center.
We clearly need to get staff there. The Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services and others, I'm sure, are making sure that people will be there to care care for this incredibly vulnerable population. But we'll also need to make sure that they can receive testing as well, because it is a congregate setting.
You lock the doors and refuse to let anybody in, and then call the fucking authorities. You'll get some attention quick.
Parents across the province are getting a break from the provincial government. Education Minister Stephen Lecce issuing an emergency order to stop childcare centres in Ontario from collecting payments from parents while the facilities are closed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lecce also expanded on whether schools across the province will reopen by May 4th.
We're seeking the advice of Dr. Williams, the Chief Medical Officer of Health. He will guide our decision, but I want to affirm to you that as soon as I receive it, I will be communicating it to you, making clear the intention of our health advisors. But today, we are on track to maintain the May 4th. The Premier said it's at least till then.
Meantime, most licensed childcare centres in Ontario have now been closed for 3 weeks since the province's emergency order. 680 News Time, 8:35. 100,000 testing swabs have arrived in Ontario, and all of them are contaminated. The Toronto Star reports that this shipment was the first installment of a large order procured by the federal government. Ontario will be receiving hundreds of thousands more from this federal order, which could all be contaminated. The province currently has roughly 200,000 swabs, which will be used in the next 7 to 10 days. Premier Ford promises to scale up testing, as we mentioned, in the coming months. Meantime, York Region says it has launched an enhanced website to help residents track COVID-19 in their community. The interactive dashboard provides an in-depth summary of data from York Region Public Health. It is now updated once a day at 5 o'clock every afternoon, and including evening on weekends. And you can find the information at york.ca/COVID-19. The order for people entering the country to self-isolate for 14 days now has some teeth to go with it. 680's Martin McMahon explains the feds have asked the Mounties to come in to make sure people are complying with the Quarantine Act.
No, this is the same guys whose normal job is to run around and make sure we don't shoot each other.
Order to stay inside for 14 days.
The caveat is they won't prosecute us for drug trafficking.
Now the feds are clamping down. The Public Health Agency of Canada asking the RCMP to ensure police make checks on people it has struggled to get a hold of. Those who flout the Quarantine Act are looking at fines as high as $750,000. If your actions hurt or even kill somebody, that could climb to $1 million. There's also the prospect of up to 3 years behind bars. I'm Martin McMahon.
680 News Time, 8:37. The world death toll from COVID-19 hit a grim milestone today of 100,000 people.
As a spreader?
U.S. President Donald Trump is looking forward despite how many people COVID-19 has killed in America.
It's approaching 20,000. That's so horrible. At the same time, the president's expressing hope amid what he calls grief and pain, saying models now show far fewer Americans will be killed than first predicted.
Nationwide, the number of new cases per day is flattening, substantially suggesting that we're near the peak.
But a White House coronavirus task force coordinator Deborah Burke says the U.S. is not at the peak.
And so every day we need to continue to do what we did yesterday and the week before and the week before that.
Saying continuing social distancing and other measures will take America over the peak.
All I know is anywhere you go in the world, if you have a U.S. dollar, you can probably get a can of Coke.
And Good Friday during a global pandemic has been a quiet occasion this year, observed by many Christians in their homes practicing physical distancing. Melissa Duggan of City News reports.
A small ceremony, just 7 people wearing hard hats, held at Notre Dame, nearly a year after fire ravaged the iconic cathedral in Paris.
If that church falls down on you, that hard hat ain't gonna do shit, eh?
Should not be lost. We are in this half-fallen cathedral, he explains, to say that life still exists. The landmark's reconstruction paused during the coronavirus lockdown. In hard-hit Spain, police patrols stepped up to enforce travel restrictions over the holiday weekend. As worshippers turned to services on TV and online, one Spanish priest getting creative, placing pictures of those who usually attend his service on church benches. Now, when they watch the broadcast version of Mass, it's hoped
They'll feel like they're there. For
Scare the
City News,
people
I'm
that are
Rosa
really in
Duggan.
charge. It's rich
Still to
people.
come on
What are they
680
scared of?
News, traffic and
Diseases.
weather together, but first we'll check
I'm
the
not scared
prices
of you
of gas and where
rioting
it's
and
going to head
things.
at
You don't live
midnight.
where they
680
live.
News time, 8:39.
Are you looking for a ministry-inspected online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn from
For
home
what
with the
job?
Ontario Virtual School. The
I want to
Ontario
know where these
Virtual
kids are going to
School
do their
allows you to
volunteer
earn
hours.
OSSD credits while you learn from home, so you can get your high school diploma. Now is a good time to sign up. Set your own schedule and get 24-hour access to our certified teachers. Some courses can be completed in
When you
as
say
little as 4
certified,
weeks.
is that like, are you
Learn more
like
at
revealing something without us realizing it? What certified is
Now,
what?
the 680 News gas price update, and predicts the price will not
Do they have
change
to
at midnight,
register where they
staying
live
at
and shit?
77.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Your traffic and weather reports are next. 680 News time, 8:40. All long weekend, TSC has amazing offers like the Today's Showstopper from IT Cosmetics, featuring It's Your New Blow Away 4-piece collection. You get the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, Bye Bye Pores Blush, Heavenly Luxe Brush, and the all-new Dry Bar Lash Blowout Mascara for lavishly thick eyelashes.
The all-new-
Regularly
wow,
$100
that's-
all weekend. It's
Kudos
just
to your
$70
marketing people.
or 4 easy pay payments of $17.50.
You need a couple more words in there, man.
Today's shopping choice. Hi, I'm Cherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. We're taking every possible precaution to keep you safe. That's why the Herzig Eye Institute
That's
is
why we're
pausing
closed.
elective surgery for the
We're
time
closed.
being.
Canada's
However,
closed.
we remain available
Bad Friday.
online and by phone to keep you fully informed about our refractive cataract and laser
Fully
vision correction
informed.
services, and to schedule and reschedule your Herzig appointment.
Reschedule. So you already got a plan that I'm going to have to
and sign up for my
reschedule.
blog so we can stay connected. Look after
So
yourself.
this ain't going to be done on April 15th or May 1st.
City News time, 8:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carlene Donahue. This
On the
report's brought to you by
ones.
CIBC. We're still seeing this collision on the westbound 401, just west of the 404 in the express lanes. We've got what looks like taken out. Through that stretch, stick into the right-hand lane, or better yet, go into the collectors. But no delays in either the express or collectors. It's
Yeah. Gang like wreck. Gang like wreck. I'm on this
About to
back.
finish rolling.
Yeah. Hunger driving my motivations, no tolerance, running short of patience. Skip golden, I collect money. That's the shit that got me dreaming robberies. When pops left, it was the block that fathered me. Got a problem, load the weapon, that's how you solve it, that's what it taught to me. And it's how your face started to bother me. Put me in the direction where the bottle be. Is it just how it's born to be? Some comes to this world with diamonds and pearls, some come to poverty. But no one that teaches right and wrong, how could you say that we're wrong? This is all we know. So gotta be right, or maybe it's left, but it's all we got left. Not the thug until my last breath. Truly, peace and love to the ones that knew me, and fuck the rest. I mean it, and she know. But I walk out this door, it might be for the last time. They say the stars bring the brightest right before they die. That's why I tell her I love her till the kids think my day to shine. Mother to give me mercy, and I'm trying hard to sin again. Tell me blood is this on my hands, cause I can't remember. And when my neck go, I Leslie in the river. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, graves dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it.
They want the piece of paper that says they tested
All my
negative.
thugs, pump drugs,
Prove it to
dump
somebody.
slugs,
Who the
graves
fuck are you
dug.
proving that
Nah,
to? That
you
doesn't
ain't
even
one
make
of us.
sense.
If you want it, better be ready to die for it. You want it, better be ready to die for it. It's that early morning hustler shit. Cocaine in the pot, serving bullets, stick, throw some ice in the mix and shock it. That's how you rock that shit. Now here comes the magic trick. Abracadabra, bitch. The stones disappear quick as your baby mama's welfare check. This the life, yeah, fuck you pay me. I brought the mix with me just to show you I ain't playing. All the goons in this motherfucker know what I'm saying. Bet the streets gon' feel me. Know these cops don't wanna kill me or confine me. But first you gotta find me, so come find me. You bitch ass, punk ass cops, y'all can kiss on my cock. This is something that you'll never stop. Every bump of these tracks, even after I'm locked, even after my heart stops. I'm here to teach the next generation to say fuck the cops. Same way I was taught, yeah, same way I was taught. Yeah, fuck the cops, fuck the cops.
All my thugs, pump drugs, dope slugs, great stuff. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. All my thugs, pump drugs, dope slugs, great stuff. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to die for it.
I'm not
You want it, better be ready to die for it.
I'm not shutting that window. You can't have a light. You can't have fucking crackhead. Give me a light. Get the fuck away. He's walking up to me, so I'm stepping away from him. What the fuck do you want? I know the guy. Technically. Give me a light. No. Fuck up. I gotta get like a GoPro mounted to a baseball hat or something.
Yeah, Gang Life Records, you know what it is? We ain't going.
Black coat on the beat, you know what it is?
He goes to the fucking road. He's like always out there.
Young age, I've been on my own, just a bag of rocks and a cell phone. Just the world I live in, feed myself sinning, doomed from the start.
You can't figure out where all the cars went to ask for change. You can't figure it out.
Give me a chance and I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm out and they pirate. I put my hopes and dreams inside of pirates and turn the stove on. A life like this is hard to carry on.
I don't know where the fuck you got a cigarette from.
Until the work on, I know where to find the devil. That ain't hard. For some reason I still ain't found hard. Lost soul walking with the damn. Pull the trigger, hope that it don't jam. Rather get caught with the thing without it where I am.
You're exactly outside your house. If you have inside your house,
This
nothing.
life
Go
got me
away.
dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. I'm a shooting star, running in the sky. Send go to text, to wait for a reply. I daydream a lot, dreaming of a day I won't have a scheme and plot. Not ready for the grave yet, not ready for that box. Yeah, life in the slum, it ain't much, but it's where we wrong. Gotta love it, steady dog, see the cops, me mugging middle finger, I was like fuck 'em. Another day in the life, the weed and liquor help to make it alright. Just say homie, you're tight, yeah, I miss my dog, forever in my heart. When we meet again, I'm going hard. On the block, ducking and dodging the wrath of God. I'm just trying to feed myself in these troubled times. Still it's your Lord, this is the day I got me down. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah. I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. You should be saying the heat bag.
What would I be without you?
I had on my business, the fuck with me is a
get what you just wish I was caught. The hand of my business. The fuck with me. You should get what you just wish I was caught. The hand of my business. The fuck with me. You should get what you just wish I was caught. The hand of my business. The fuck with me. You should get what you just wish. There's warriors in the building, better show them respect. Fuck a tough guy, tough talking on the internet. Fuck that, you wanna talk to this. You never miss no snitch. If the paperwork ain't proof enough, I don't know what it is. You know what it is. Hit the 1323 shit. On your shit talk, got you sinking in the sand quick. Ready to mouth to get you punched up. Better hope we don't find where you hide. Cause we the type to kick the door in and by ourselves inside. Difference between me and you is that I'm a gangster that raps and you just gangster rapping, dog. Don't that surprise when it happens. My homies know for begging victims when we get to clapping. Yeah,
all the smart people went to the grocery store and stocked up on shit. Let's not panic, bud. The grocery stores pay attention to where money comes from. They study this shit. They have to. They need to serve the whole neighborhood. They're just randomly choosing what to sell each day. They know everybody's getting $300, $400, whatever dollars.
One of those guys that shit slide. Not dog when I walk up.
The people with kids are getting more. So proportionally, everybody's going to spend a big chunk of money at the grocery store. They're prepared for that.
I'm a hustler every day up on my ground. You must be out your mind talking like you hold the tech now.
These other idiots, I don't understand. They're bumming cigarettes the next fucking day.
You just don't know who you're fucking with. Allow me to introduce myself. My name
I
is
never gave them one before, so I'm desperate.
From the springs, only take one shot to kill. Yeah, I promise blood to spill. Hit the curb quick. While you holding the gun with shaky hands, acting all nervous. Could it be that it's
that's my barometer of the neighborhood. It's people that don't put money in my pocket ask me for free shit. What you guys did in the last 24 hours. I know you got money. Everybody knows that everybody got money. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that everybody got fucking money from the fucking government. Everybody knows.
Yo, man, I'm fucking sick and tired of these cops jacking us up, man. And the rest is covers beat us up, and you like bitches. Every cop in my city is a cookie cop. Fuck them. I said, fuck them, fuck them. You ain't enough to take me, go for. Once locked in the box, you take for. You can take what you want, we don't come more. Earn more. Once locked in the box, you take for. Take what you want. It ain't enough that you take me to go for. Once locked in the box, you take for. You can take what you want, we want more. So fuck the world, yeah, fuck the world. Ain't enough that you take me to go for. Once locked in the box, you take for. You can take what you want, we want more. Yeah, fuck the world. Fuck the cops. Beat us to backstage. What's up, man? Back with business. What's up, man? Back with business. You catch us slip when we choosing your destination. You're doing your repetitions, improving your reputation. You're losing your weapon waste. We're excavating the breakfast. You're losing your weapon places. You're busting cases in the face. The ruler can catch your case. Graduating the face. They're doing investigations. We elevating the weight. Lift the food up in levitation. So heavy we lying and blind. Cruising in Texas spaces. Your desecration and slave left me facing. Desperation. The patience. To mental basis, they taking the medication. Canadian legislation, states and injecting races. Regardless to
2019 had one last thing to throw at us. Oh, the year is over. Hey, one last thing. What's locked in the box in the third floor? You can take what you want, we want more. So fuck the world, yeah, fuck the world. Ain't enough that you take what you look for. What's locked in the box in the third floor? You can take what you want, we want more. So fuck the world, yeah, fuck the world. Ain't enough that you take what you look for. What's locked in the box in the third floor?
You can take what you want, we want.
What are you doing? You spend it on dumb shit. And these cops got bad habits to support. Corruption up here is different.
I'm like, fuck the law.
They got expensive habits.
Fuck off. Why you gotta fuck with me, huh? Let's hold the rap music, gotta pull the fucking car over. Something man,
You didn't get out of the car today, officer? I'm coughing and sneezing all fucking day after this shit. Oh, I puked all over the side of the car, but I can't wash it off. The car wash is closed, man. You want to get closer? Okay.
Nothing but living in hell. Tear out what I wasn't supposed to help. If there's a problem, we don't cope, police can handle it ourselves. I wasn't born a free man, I had to free myself. So we can feel how I feel, say fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law.
Not living by laws, but living by principles. That's the case in the universe.
It's locked in the box in the dirt floor.
I know because they are
Yeah, fuck the law.
Get their justice.
It's locked in the box in the dirt floor. You can take what you want, we want more. Say fuck the law, yeah, fuck the law. Ain't enough that you take what you work for. It's locked in the box in the dirt floor. You can take what you want, we want more. Say fuck the law, yeah, fuck the law. Ain't enough that you take what you work for. It's locked in the box in the dirt floor. You can take what you want, we want more. Say fuck the law, yeah, fuck the law.
Rest in peace, Lance Mere, shot and killed by what a paid police service on May 9, 2010. If you can't see what's going on, you need to open up your eyes and look around you. Ain't gonna stop, not till we do something. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of this shit. That's why I say fuck the law, fuck the judge, fuck the crowd, fuck that cellar lawyer that trade your life for $1. Yeah, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. That gang shit, that's why I bullied it, I gave away.
Dear Real Canadian Superstore and No Frills Cuss.
Oh, fuck off. Galen Weston, another G, capital G, G Weston family. We don't bang, we're family, right, Chris? Why is it frozen? What the fuck's the deal? Where's the fucking music? Which defeats the purpose because it's about to fucking be the top of the hour I wanted to hear. Damn it. Help me. No. What's going on? Fuck it.
Volunteer shopping buddies with a medical worker. And there was such a demand across the country that we worked overnight to sort of augment the platform, make sure that it could handle a national rollout. So now we're across Canada.
Scalable,
400 matches with a medical worker with a good Samaritan grocery shopper in their neighborhood, and 70% of our matches
The high school dropout drug dealer knows what scalability is, but you don't?
Oh, we don't. This is a totally not-for-profit. Our total hard costs for us to run the platform have been about $50.
Lombardi also says they will continue offering the service for as long as there is demand. The website is getgroceryhero.com. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
In times like these, shouldn't your money work even harder for you? We think so. That's why at Duca Credit Union, you get no fee checking accounts. You also get high interest on deposits and investments and low mortgage rates. Plus, you
just
get
in
to
case
share
I
in the
can't
profit.
charge the cell phone.
That's the Duca difference. And now we're offering 2.5%
Our
interest on
battery
your savings
dies
until
or
March
some shit.
31st, 2021. Find out how at earnmore.duca.com.
Oh, everything
Do
about
more,
basic
be more,
survival is
achieve
showing
more
up at the
with
right
Duca
place
Credit
at time
Union.
now.
Conditions apply.
Are you a condo landlord and your tenant has informed you they cannot make April rent or asked to negotiate a reduced rent? With the COVID-19 crisis, you can no longer
Here's a check
evict
for
the tenant for
50%. You can
non-payment
cash it
of
or
rent.
you can fuck
Register
yourself.
for our upcoming webinar at remaxwealth.com featuring Elaine Page, past Ontario Law Society Paralegal of the Year, to learn how to protect yourself as a
Then you
landlord.
find out who the
Again,
good
that is
landlords are.
remaxwealth.com to register.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Coy Brothers.
Get blown away with the power and price of the Stihl BG50 handheld blower.
Just $199.95.
Stihl at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.
And the city or the province will end up taking
Right now,
possession of the
downtown
unit.
Toronto, a few clouds
have
and 5 degrees. 680 news time, 9 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
What if your landlord is an overseas investor? He can't come here now.
Friday, April 10th. I'm Christine Ritchie.
Can't file the paperwork even if he did
Here's
get
what's
it.
making news this hour.
The province is ramping up testing for COVID-19.
We're doubling the number of tests to 8,000 per day.
The health minister also has new symptoms to look out for.
Ontario's daycare operators no longer allowed to charge parents for holding a spot during the crisis. That coming after the province issues an order.
A Markham home for adults with disabilities left to fend for themselves after staff walk off the job because of COVID-19 outbreaks at the facility.
And many asking, why didn't the federal government act sooner as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise?
The XFL lays off all employees and shuts down operations effective immediately. And the province of Quebec says no gatherings, including sports, until the end of August. Sports at 15.
August, see?
Coming
We're
up,
going,
business
that's
new
past
initiative
July
from Walmart
1st.
Canada. It's going to deliver groceries for frontline
August
medical
what, the
workers
1st?
right to the hospitals they work in. We'll talk
Not
to the
till
company
August,
about that
okay,
and
we're
about
going
its
through
online
July,
grocery delivery
apparently.
backlog.
680 news time, 9:01.
And we head over to the traffic center with Carling Donahue.
This report is brought to you by the
Watch them
407
build a bunch of
ATR.
border checkpoints
Still
up
a
there.
really easygoing
between
night
each
on your
province.
major routes. We just have a collision west of the 404 in the express on the westbound 401. That's just taking out a left-hand lane, no delays, and everything's moving fine. But if you would like to avoid this visual distraction, stick in the collectors, you'll be good to go. Then we have the southbound Carling View ramp to the east 401 shut down for maintenance as well. And other than that, nothing to report on your major routes in and around the GTA. 407 ETR thanks you for continuing to follow social distancing rules. Together, we can beat the COVID-19 virus. 407ETR.com. Your next report's at 9:11 with the forecast. Here's Carl Lim.
It's a cloudy start
You're on a
across the
highway
GTA this
somehow.
evening, but we will see a little bit of clearing. Those winds still out of the northwest, breezy between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then diminishing during the overnight. -2 is the low, feeling like -8. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -2.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds, 5 degrees, feeling like -1. Similar conditions at Pearson Airport, 4 degrees, feeling like -2. 680 news time, 9:03.
And you may be frustrated with word that the province is acting at half the capacity when it comes to testing for COVID-19. Well, today the province pledging to now quadruple those efforts in the next month.
680's Cam Dort has the details.
Doug Ford says the first step to winning any battle is knowing your enemy, and now the Premier has a new plan.
We're launching the next phase of our strategy to expand testing in Ontario. We're doubling the number of tests to 8,000 per day by April the 15th and 14,000 a day by April 29th.
So, how's it going to get done? Here's Health Minister
Wednesday
Christine
and
Elliott.
Wednesday.
Our government remains
Nobody's
committed
mentioning
to
Earth Day
increasing the
or
testing
Clean
capacity
Toronto
in our
together.
province by leveraging hospital, community, and research labs.
Testing will be
That's
prioritized
2
for
weeks
people at
from
long-term
now.
and retirement homes, hospital patients, and frontline workers. There will also be increased testing in remote, isolated, and Indigenous communities. The province also
Yeah, we don't
updating the
necessarily
list of
want your staff
symptoms of
up there,
COVID-19, including a hoarse voice, difficulty swallowing, loss of sense of smell or taste, and diarrhea or nausea and vomiting. I'm Cam Dort.
Pretty sure those two were both included the first time around.
Staff have walked off the job at a facility that supports adults with disabilities in Markham following a confirmed outbreak of COVID-19. Participation House is home to 42 adults with development and physical
There you go,
disabilities,
Participation
with 10
House. So we
now
set things
confirmed to
up.
have COVID-19, along with 2 staff members. Health Minister Christine Elliott says public health officials have attended the facility to help with the outbreak.
We need to make sure that any of them exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms are going to be properly cared for. We're going to need to put them into self-isolation and make sure that they get the care that they expect and deserve.
And Markham's Mayor Frank Scarpiti took to Twitter calling for emergency support for Participation House. The mayor is specifically asking for donations of personal protective equipment for the staff. 680 News Time, 9:04. A troubling trend in the U.S. shows that some racialized communities are at a higher risk of death from COVID-19. But meantime, here in Ontario, the government doesn't collect race-based data. Mina City News reports.
Some experts say that leaves communities particularly vulnerable during this pandemic.
A pandemic only exacerbates what already exists in a society.
Just another day in the ghetto.
And when that system is being taxed, what we end up seeing is that the most marginalized will fall to the bottom.
Medical experts like Natisha Massaquoi have long called for the collection of race-based data, what she calls a symptom of biases that exist in Canada's healthcare system.
These assholes' excuses, oh, we don't want to look racist.
Are having the worst experiences.
You're still collecting race-based data, you're just doing it under the table.
Of illnesses.
Our situation is taxed, we're in crisis, and those communities are going to be further marginalized.
Ontario's COVID-19 website provides details on age and gender in confirmed and presumptive cases. And when asked about including race to that list, the province said there's no specific data from WHO or other sectors that address racial risk factors.
That's a legit answer for Ontario.
680 News Time, 9:06. After Premier Ford announced that the province will step up their testing over the next month, a shipment of 100,000 contaminated swabs arrived in Ontario.
Who said does that? Tell us who said does that.
Currently has 200,000.
Give us a name, an address, an IP address, a phone number, something. Cell phone number.
10 days. This shipment is the first of several from a federal order, with hundreds of thousands more supposed to arrive in Ontario in the coming weeks. The province is currently testing 4,000 patients a day at most, and they're hoping to test up to 16,000 a day in the coming weeks. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the House of Commons will reconvene tomorrow to pass a wage subsidy for Canadian businesses.
It's really important, despite a time of crisis, in fact, because of a time of crisis, that our institutions remain strong and our democratic principles continue. Therefore, this address to Canadians tomorrow will be a little later and from the floor of the House of Commons.
Why can't you just, why are you... Why?
We've seen at least a 15% drop in revenue. The subsidy will provide payments worth 75% of an employee's pre-crisis weekly pay, up to a maximum of $847 a week for up to 12 weeks. Why didn't we act sooner?
12 we all, so we're taking care for 3 months,
The federal government, the head of the Canadian Medical Association, tells the Globe and Mail there was a 2006 report saying the federal government needed to be better prepared for a pandemic. It noted things like a better stockpile of medical equipment. The CBC also reporting the feds were warned in January and February about the possibility of the virus coming here. Instead, the feds were focused on getting Canadians home at the time, while not focusing conversations about social distancing measures.
Remember all the sick people you flew back here?
There are encouraging signs from a study on a drug that could be used against COVID-19.
Please don't tell me.
Early results are promising from a small study on a drug that might be used to treat COVID-19 patients. Results published in the New England Journal of Medicine show 36 of 53 severely ill coronavirus patients improved after receiving the experimental antiviral drug remdesivir. However, there was no comparison group in the study. The condition of 8 of the patients worsened and 7 died. Patients in the study, all hospitalized in the United States, were from 23 to 82 years of age. Results from more rigorous studies are expected by the end of this month. I'm Mike Rossio.
680 News Time, 9:08 with the long weekend here. Many parents are taking a deserved break as they try to cope with the pressures of having to homeschool their kids. 680 Safe Kaiser reports.
The first thing to remember is generally parents are not trained teachers.
Kenley Schwartz is a psychologist and associate professor at U of C. He says the most important thing is making sure your kids have the opportunity to learn things every day rather than just throwing the curriculum at them and hoping they keep up.
We need to take the pressure off of parents to feel like they need to, be those experts and to turn their homes into
other studies. 30% of the people are black that died. 30% of the population population are black, and 70% of the people that died are black.
And relationship building. We've got an opportunity here to spend time with our kids and to learn along in this experience that we likely will never have again in our lives. So let's take advantage of that.
You're going to have this experience for the next 2 years, buddy. They just said August.
Gas prices.
Don't forget they're August, September.
This is 680 News.
Hi, I'm Adam, founder of newborrow.com, and I started our company after I got fed up with the mortgage loan process. Turns out I wasn't alone. Thousands of homeowners wanted help.
They went above and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and informed anyone I spoke to. Want to lower your mortgage payments and save a little money?
Use your Direct Alert by Telesales is simple to install yourself, shipped directly to you, and starts at $25 a month. Right now, you can save up to $180 a year on select plans.
Got it for the low, got it for the low. What you really do, I got all the stuff. Come right off the boat, come right off the boat. Come right off the boat, come right off the boat. This year you already know. I feel like I've been the GOAT.
Oh, it's 111.
I know I can hold my own. I know I can hold my own. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway.
You can't buy it at the gas station in the McDonald's drive-thru, you can't get it.
Get money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day.
Yeah, they talk it, but they never lives it. I've been gunning for them 7 digits. Came back with a better vision. I ain't never switching. I'ma get this chicken. Crime pays, that's my way. Try to tell them, but they never listen. Fuck the ops, fuck the cops. I'ma make a millions with a Merry Christmas. I've been on it since Dipset. How they wanna get their lips wet. All these bitches used to try to swear me, now I'm flexing on them with this pimp set.
All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. I can't sleep, these nightmares are real. Gotta keep both hands on the wheel.
What's up, bro? So you said I couldn't rap and all my songs suck? Well, how about you suck on this one, you little bitch? Yeah, that's me. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser, you will never amount to shit. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser, you will never amount to shit. Damn, what is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Think you flex on me and everything will stay cool? You have got another thing coming. I'm about to bring that pain. I'ma make you say my name. I'ma make you into a joke. You can always fucking croak. You can always fucking croak. If you try to step to me, you will always on this fucking scene. You are just a joke to me. There is nothing you can say that could ever bring me down. You have already lost, you stupid fucking clown. Can't you see? I don't fuck around. This ain't a game. When I talk about my name, I will enter the Hall of Fame. I'm a beast you cannot name. Can you really say the same? No, you can't. You just a little baby back bitch that got yourself locked in the back of the pantry closet. You're so lucky I haven't lost it. I'm gonna be like a fucking comet. You're so gross, I'm about to bomb. You can hold on to my pocket, bitch. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser. You will never amount to shit. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser. You will never amount to shit. Holy fuck, I'm gonna laugh so hard it makes me fucking cry every time you try to spit your dirty raps at me. Are you blind, mentally challenged, that you have it stuck up in your head that you even close to me, bitch? No, you ain't. You are trash that belongs in the fucking dumpster. I'm so fucking high up. Come and see. I can't even see the ground. Everywhere I look around, you are nowhere to be found. Wanna go another round? Ha! Let's see you try. Motherfucker, you ain't got shit on me. Listen to me, play to see. Listen to me as I tear this up. Where you are round and round. You have no fucking clue who the fuck it is that I messed with. What the fuck you gonna do when I come on blow on through? Are you gonna talk shit about my mom, about my sis, about my girl? Shit, dude, leave them all the fuck alone. You don't even really fucking know them, so shut the fuck up. Nah, 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 you're a gay ass bitch. Nah, 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 you're a dumbass puke ass fool. Nah, 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 you really think you have a chance? Ha ha ha. Looks to me like you ran out of steam. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser. You will never amount to shit. You're sick, you're disgusting, you're a dick, fucking prick, fucking user, fucking loser. You will never amount to shit. Yeah, yeah. You will never amount to shit. Yeah, yeah. You better fucking give up now.
Please come test. Reside on all this. Yeah,
you know that random black guy. He ain't no fucking battle rapper. He ain't no fucking good rapper. His tracks are trash, bro. Yeah, his tracks are trash, bro. Nah, well, that's not. Yeah, you know that random black guy. He ain't.
Overdose. You already know what it is. Overdose. Cody King and overdose. Overdose. That's us. Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you high like air. Snort that line if you don't fucking care. I do drugs.
I do everything I want. I do everything I want. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want.
I do drugs. I do drugs. Winner, chicken dinner. I'm gonna eat you up. I'm in the club. I'm gonna have a party. I'm gonna live it up. Take another pill or another shot. Here's another dab. I can never get enough. Need enough so we can last. Yeah, I'm a dirty ass, grimy line starter. That's how I keep my motivation. I'll do fine logistics court. That way can be on top of my zone. I don't need to scatter my thoughts when I'm reciting lyrical miracles. Everything else to me don't matter. Watch your back. I'm a vicious ass rapper. True, fuck the jelly before the peanut butter. Put it back in the cracker, Ritz slapper. I'm a drug blaster. Always doing what I want. Try and stop me, motherfucker. Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you high like air. Snort that line if you don't fucking care. I do drugs.
I do everything I want. I do everything I want. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want.
I do drugs. I'ma fire it up like it's a fresh doobie. No, you silly flamers, not that chili D movie. My mind is kinda screwy from drugs I'm doing, but I don't think that I'm really losing. All of the boozing and shooting has got my mind ooh.